Just getting over a major lightning storm and downpour here. This truck surf is still going on since 8 o'clock yesterday morning.
So what do I do? Hang on, just hold it. Oh, is it recording the loop? Oh, okay.
So, come and stand together, have your voices heard. Tell these corporations and these companies we won't be lied to, we won't be told what's happening. We'll decide what's best for us round here, and what's best for us is the end to fracking. It's disgusting, it's dangerous, it's dirty.
So I got up at like 4:15 in the morning because I thought, I know everyone's wondering, how are they?
These people have been here, putting these trucks in place, preventing them from coming to the fracking site.
There's maybe no other live stream that night, so you sneak at them, whispering around and going, there they are, they're all right.
It's working. Probably all right, but I'm just going to say something. This is what it's all about. Fracking. And I'm not having it. No way.
This type of action is very effective because with one arrestable person, you can stop a lorry containing all the parts, stop it from moving for what's in there for 3-4 days, or however long it's to be out there for. And so that's just with one person in a very safe environment. There's only one moment of action when you climb up there, and after that you're comfortable to sit down and do what you want. There's a sense of purpose being up there. You know every minute you're up there, you're stopping that equipment getting into sight. You immediately got that sense of being, that sense of purpose of being up there.
Am I going to be here? Oh, probably quite a long time actually. Yeah.
In the night, in the day, in the wet, in the sun, in the cold, in the wind, in all the elements. You get the picture. They've stuck it out through all of it.
I've been here 3 days now, and I don't intend going anywhere.
We're in conversations with the truck company to make sure that the loads that they've got on there doesn't go into the site. That has been causing some problems, but the people on top of the lorry seem incredibly happy right now, and they are staying there for however long they can.
We've talked about a deal going on. Like if I get down, they're going to pull out of the operation. But that's not good enough, because there are other haulage companies which will be happy to take the work on. And then we're just going through the same thing again and again. It's just not good enough.
And we now know that at least 2 of those people that went up onto those trucks, we can now say are reclaiming power. And it was probably the trucks were a decoy, because the drill and all its bits came in from the other end.
Energy firm Quadrilla has announced the drilling rig that will be used for fracking in Lancashire has been delivered at the Preston New Road site.
The drill arrived in containers on a number of trucks and was delivered here on Preston New Road in the early hours of this morning. The CEO of Quadrilla, Francis Egan, has expressed how pleased he was to take delivery of the drilling rig. We have had confirmation from Quadrilla that the drill has arrived on the site. What's the mood like among the camp?
It's been quite frustrated that came in so early this morning. We don't really want. It was out. It breached the kind of regulations that they have set.
It will be used to begin the first horizontal fracking into UK shale gas, which Mr Egan has said will be a milestone in unlocking vital new sources of energy for the country.
So it's clearly now it was a decoy, and it was the ones jumping in front of those trucks, but Gail Bradbrook of Extinction Rebellion before it existed. This was back in 2017.
What's the methodology of mobilisation? Disruption and sacrifice. You have to disrupt the system comes down, hits people on the head, that involves sacrifice. Sacrifice creates a backfiring effect, that means more people are mobilised, they come out into the street, game over.
Remember the truck surf last year? The one that the guys have just been sent?
Yes, I do.
Can you send any messages of support to the guys?
You guys were an inspiration, an absolute inspiration.
I don't think they are criminals. I think they're heroes. And I'm considering actually going and doing that action myself up there, as well as thousands of other people.
It's finally sort of made national media and made people, oh yeah, and aware of it. And that, I mean, although we've used social media and that's really good, for some people, when it hits them in the face on national media, that makes them sit up and take notice. And that's what it's choosing.
The 3 men jailed for protesting against fracking in Lancashire have been freed, and they say that they will return to the site tomorrow. An appeal court judge said that their sentences of 15 and 16 months had been manifestly excessive.
They climbed on top of the cabs of lorries delivering drilling equipment to a fracking site in Lancashire. Between them, they stayed there for 4 days. For this, Simon Blevins, Richard Lauzou and Richard Roberts were jailed for between 15 and 16 months.
The action itself is not actually that important. It's the going to prison, which has got cultural resonance, as you might say.
In court, their lawyer argued their passion for the environment was unlawfully used against them.
A lot of those sort of fake protesters, the ones we presume are paid by the state, who are doing the state's bidding, went in to basically take over and disrupt the fracking protests. And this new Extinction Rebellion appears to be a similar kind of takeover.
One of the founders of Extinction Rebellion himself only last year said, oh, by the way, this climate thing is just the excuse. The real agenda here is, as Greta is now saying, and as many of others had said, it's about so-called decolonizing the world. So that's just code for getting rid of capitalism around the world. The patriarchy, that's just another term for basically the West. And it's a radical communist socialist agenda.
They want to ban every single private vehicle that runs on gas and disallow you from using airplanes, and we're the extremists.
Oh, there's a lot more now that we are adjusting to. The facts that these people that we thought were on our side clearly were not. I already knew about Reclaim the Power's place, but other people like Julian that came up here for the right reasons thought he was helping people of Lancashire. It's now clear to him that he was exploited, and many other people have been exploited.
And why have they stuck it out? They stuck it out for the same reason that we're all here. They were all gathered here together.
They are in the frontline fight against fracking.
They really are in the forefront of the fight against climate change.
Climate is a pretext for control. It gives them a rationale to control every single aspect of life, of lifestyle.
They're creating a huge energy deficit. If it's not filled, the world will be back in the dark ages again, literally.
They want chaos across the world. They want to turn the global economy upside down.
They say that in order to reduce climate change, we must eliminate all machinery use and all equipment, and we must literally reduce the temperature that would bring us back into the year 1750 before industrialization. And millions of people will die.
We are not for a moment suggesting this is a easy change to make, but we have to get the perspective very clear. Unless we make these changes, we are looking at an absolutely catastrophic future for our younger generation.
This is insanity, and
it's in fact genocidal. If you cannot replace this huge, glaring energy deficit that is going to be created by this plan, there are people who will literally die from this.
You know, and I think some of us have to be willing to die for this thing. And I know it sounds a bit melodramatic, but at what point are our lives really about sorting this thing out? We are killing life, you know, could it say again, we're killing life on Earth. You know, what are you doing with your lives, you know?
12 years to radically transform our economy and our society to stop this crisis and protect human civilization as we know it.
This is about humanity. That's what we demand, a new Green Deal, and we demand it right now.
Climate change is now system change. We've left it so late that we have to change the system.
I mean, we need complete system change.
Today's decision affirms that when people peacefully break the law out of a moral obligation to prevent the expansion of fossil fuel industries, they should not be sent to prison.
As we say in the Declaration of Rebellion, well, how can their laws mean anything much to us anymore? So we're freed now to do what we need to do in response to that.
Okay, are we done? Are we done? Right, where's the fucking super glue? Because I'm off. I'm off to save the fucking planet. Okay, fuck it, I'm off.
If many people participate, the many small actions become powerful. I'm going to ask these people to rise up here, and if you want to get involved, come and talk to one of them. Come and talk to us. Thanks for listening.
Rise for climate justice!
Oh my god. That's a lot of kids.
A new movement is emerging on the streets of Britain to fight climate change. Thousands of people are protesting for the first time.
Join us! Join the rebellion!
These people want to con you, trick you, manipulate you, and make you think that the protest you're engaged in is a protest for the world. In actual fact, they're manipulating you to protest on their behalf, to make them our saviours.
This whole carbon dioxide, man-made global warming stuff, this is the most dangerous and frightening part of it. How such a lobbyist group, that's this IPCC, have been able to fool the whole world.
We got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2.
The policies they wanted needed to show that there'd be a catastrophe, what they call a transformation, some kind of ecological transformation to justify emissions cuts. So they back-engineered from that conclusion to the science and so forth.
How do you know those environmental scientists are right?
They are experts.
At predicting the end of the world?
Yes. They have predicted environmental doomsday many different times.
Have they ever been right?
It's different this time. Science is much more advanced. Now it's so advanced they can't be wrong anymore. They have computer models to predict future temperatures.
This climate model is almost useless in my humble opinion. It's supposed to be some kind of a pedagogical tool, some tool to learn, you know? But it's not for forecasting at all. It's simply not ready, right? Because they cannot represent a lot of this physics and chemistry and all this problem. That's what the problem is, climate model.
That's where we're at now, where we've got global policy based upon completely false, deliberately created science.
How can the debate be over when skepticism about global warming is growing, not shrinking?
That's why the debate needs to end. It's gotten completely out of hand.
The whole debate about climate change is not fair and balanced. And the fact is, people are allowed to push their own agenda. If you say anything against it, you're actually ridiculed, you're condemned, and everyone has a go at you.
Why is it that having these alternate views are so threatening to these people that they need to not only argue with you, but also destroy you? What's that about?
That's precisely what shows us that this is not about scientific discourse, but really about shutting up the ones who have different views. This is about taking away our freedom of speech. This is about promoting one ideology only and pushing some kind of totalitarian narrative. And I really do think there is a lot of danger in this entire agenda.
I think I'm becoming a climate change denier.
I'm very disappointed in you. Deniers are the bad guys.
How do you know?
Because.
Other than because they disagree with you.
Because the deniers are funded by evil energy companies.
And that's what we're up against. We're not up against science, we're actually up against a religion. And no evidence can change someone's mind in a religious ideology because they have entered that position by being irrational. So how on earth can you use rationality to get them out of that position?
The psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people. And the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. They will join the links of dissenters, dissidents. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches.
For a sustainable future, we need solutions.
It's like a chant. It's like listening to people that have been brainwashed, cult followers. It's like a horror movie. It's like something X-rated. It's really creepy. And I can't tell you, I've got goosebumps standing here listening to them because they've all been brainwashed or had a chip inserted.
And then another capsule was taken. And I thought, okay, now we're going to have to lay down and let this happen. There was a gong bath waiting to go. And just as I was about to lay down, this voice here said, Gail, you create your own reality.
We're going to listen to a bunch of hippies moaning about the planet.
And the politicians actually behind the scenes, including this current government, are telling us that they need a social movement like ours to give them the social permission to do the necessary.
We need to reform our whole economic system, and that requires reform of capitalism. Nothing else will be sufficient in response to the young people protesting. Nothing else will be radical enough.
It is a crisis. It is a threat that all of us have to unite to meet.
Of course there's a climate emergency. The science is very clear.
They haven't been telling the truth. We're telling the truth. We need people to focus on this emergency, and we need really big action.
We can't deny that there will be sacrifice, there will be things that we can't necessarily do, that we do at the moment, or we have to do less of.
Changing our society will require some discomfort, some pain, some realignment of how we live.
It might be a bit uncomfortable, but I actually think there'll be great benefits.
Let's be clear about this. You're saying that government politicians are saying, yes, we need you to come to London and glue yourself to Jeremy Corbyn's front door, or to disrupt the Docklands Right Railway, or block Westminster Bridge. You've actually got government ministers, have you, telling you that's what they want?
I'm giving you anecdotal evidence. I won't be able to prove that to you, but I've met a couple of people who've talked to Theresa May's advisors, and they have said they do know how bad it is, and actually they need you guys to help.
So by becoming the first parliament in the world to declare a climate emergency, we could, and I hope we do, set off a wave of actions from parliaments and governments all around the world.
They inspired a global movement. In one sense, this is a testament to the great power of protest.
So I think basically we're doing the job.
So I hope that we will get the message, we will do the radical things, and then the people who came here and got arrested did it for a purpose.
Well, it's a fake process anyway.
We can't save the world by playing by the rules, because the rules have to be changed. Everything needs to change.
So I'm still taking you up on your offer to go to prison as well.
Yeah, no, well, I'm absolutely ready to be arrested.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Yeah, fine, thanks.
Just being made fools of. Stop it!